There's no doubt the US is a first world country, biggest economy on the planet, but then you look at some places and it looks like this.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
I'm talking about neighborhoods that look run down, towns that feel stuck in time, places where opportunity just feels gone. If you didn't know better, you'd think this footage was from a third world country, not the United States. Some states feel outdated, left behind, like they never caught up while the rest of the country moved on. And this isn't about hating or disrespecting anyone. It's about being honest about quality of life. So today, we're breaking down the 10 worst states to live in based on real factors like economy, healthcare, education, crime, and overall opportunity. Let's start with number 10. Kentucky, the bluegrass state. More like the blue in the face from trying to find opportunity state. Look, I get it. Kentucky has bourbon, horses, and fried chicken. Cool. But you know what else it has? Some of the worst health outcomes in the entire country. We're talking highest cancer rates, heart disease through the roof, and life expectancy that's dropping faster than my motivation on a Monday morning. The coal industry that used to hold this state together? Gone. Towns that depended on mining are now economic ghost zones. You've got entire communities where the biggest employer is either Walmart or the local prison. And speaking of prisons, Kentucky has one of the highest incarceration rates in the nation. The education system? Underfunded. The job market? Limited unless you're in Louisville or Lexington, and even then, good luck. The poverty rate is sitting at around 16%, which is rough. And let's talk about the opioid crisis. Kentucky got hit hard. We're talking about communities that have been devastated. This isn't a joke. It's genuinely tragic, but it's also the reality of why this state ranks where it does. Plus, if you're into culture, diversity, or literally anything happening after 9 p.m., Kentucky might not be your vibe. Unless you count watching horses run in a circle once a year as peak entertainment. Number 9, Alaska. But it's so beautiful. Yeah. You know what else is beautiful? A postcard. And you don't have to pay $5 for a gallon of milk to enjoy it. Let me break down why Alaska is on this list, because I know some of you are confused. It's the last frontier. It's adventurous. Bro, it's isolated. You are cut off from the rest of America. You want to visit family for the holidays? Cool. Drop $1,000 on a plane ticket. Want to order something on Amazon? Add 2 weeks to shipping and triple the cost. But the real killer? The winters. We're not just talking cold. We're talking 20+ hours of darkness during winter months. You wake up? Dark. You go to work? Dark. You come home? Still dark. Seasonal depression is rampant up there, and Alaska has one of the highest suicide rates in the country. That's not a fun fact. That's a cry for help. Oh, and the cost of living? Insane. A basic trip to the grocery store feels like you're shopping at a luxury boutique. Everything has to be shipped or flown in, so you're paying premium prices for everything. A bag of chips costs what a full meal costs in the lower 48. Then there's the wildlife. Yeah, bears are cool. Until one is rummaging through your trash at 3 a.m. and you can't do anything about it because, oh yeah, it's a bear. Alaska is great if you're a rugged survivalist who hates people and sunlight. For everyone else, hard pass. Number 8. South Carolina. The Palmetto State. More like the please help another hurricane just hit state. South Carolina is what happens when you take all the worst parts of the South and crank up the humidity to levels that make you question why humans even live here. The summer heat is brutal. We're talking 95 F with 80% humidity. You walk outside and instantly regret being born. But heat you can deal with, right? What you can't deal with is the fact that South Carolina is a hurricane magnet. Every single year, it's the same story. Hurricane season rolls around and South Carolina gets battered. Flooding, power outages, property damage, rinse and repeat. And the infrastructure? Not built to handle it. Roads crumble, bridges get sketchy, and don't even get me started on the power grid. The wages here are low. Median household income is way below the national average. You've got tourism money flowing into Charleston and Myrtle Beach, but the rest of the state? Struggling. Poverty rate is high, especially in rural areas. Education? Near the bottom. Healthcare? Also near the bottom. Basically, if there's a ranking for quality of life metrics, South Carolina is chilling in the lower third like this is fine. And the bugs, bro? The bugs. Mosquitoes the size of small birds. Palmetto bugs, which are just cockroaches with a PR team. You can't escape them. They're in your house, your car, your nightmares. Oh, And let's not forget, South Carolina has some of the deadliest roads in America. Combine poor infrastructure with aggressive drivers, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Number 7. Oklahoma. Home of tornadoes, earthquakes, and regret. Let's start with the obvious. Tornado Alley. Oklahoma gets absolutely demolished by tornadoes every single year. We're not talking little dust devils, we're talking EF4 and EF5 monsters that level entire neighborhoods. You ever seen a tornado throw a semi-truck like a Hot Wheels car? That happens in Oklahoma. Living here means you're constantly checking the weather, and every spring you're playing Russian roulette with Mother Nature. Tornado sirens go off so often that people just kinda ignore them. But wait, there's more. Earthquakes. You heard that right. Oklahoma used to barely have any earthquakes. Now, thanks to fracking and wastewater injection, they're getting hundreds per year. Your house is shaking, your dishes are falling, and you're wondering if you accidentally moved to California. The education system? Severely underfunded. Teachers are some of the lowest paid in the nation, and schools are struggling. There have been literal teacher walkouts because the funding is so bad. The economy is heavily tied to oil and gas, which means when energy prices drop, the whole state feels it. Job diversity? Not great. If you're not in energy, healthcare, or agriculture, your options are limited. And culturally? Let's just say Oklahoma isn't exactly known for its thriving art scene or nightlife. You've got Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and then vast stretches of nothing. Plains, flatness, tumbleweeds, probably. Weather is bipolar. One day it's 70 and sunny, the next day it's an ice storm. The day after that, tornadoes. You literally cannot trust the weather here. Number 6. New Mexico. The land of enchantment. More like the land of why is my car getting broken into again? New Mexico has a serious crime problem. Albuquerque consistently ranks as one of the most dangerous cities in America. Property crime is out of control. Car thefts, burglaries, break-ins, it's like a lifestyle here. You park your car and it's a gamble whether it'll still be there when you get back. Violent crime is also high. Gang activity, drug trafficking. Breaking Bad wasn't just a TV show, it was basically a documentary. The state has struggled for years to get crime under control, and it just keeps getting worse. The education system? Bottom tier. New Mexico ranks near dead last in education. Schools are underfunded, graduation rates are low, and students are not getting the resources they need. If you have kids, this is a major concern. Economy? Weak. Job opportunities are limited. The state relies heavily on oil, gas, and federal spending thanks to military bases and national labs. But for your average person trying to find a decent job, good luck. Poverty rate is one of the highest in the country, and geographically, New Mexico is isolated. You've got massive stretches of desert and nothing. Sure, Santa Fe is artsy and cool, but the majority of the state is just empty. If you like civilization and convenience, this ain't it. The healthcare system is also struggling. Access to quality care is limited, especially in rural areas. Hospital shortages, doctor shortages, it's a problem. Oh, and the infrastructure? Crumbling. Roads are rough, public services are stretched thin, and it feels like the state is just barely holding it together. Number 5. Arkansas. The natural state. Which is ironic because there's nothing natural about how low the quality of life is here. Let's start with the economy. Arkansas is poor. Median household income is one of the lowest in the nation. Wages are suppressed, and the biggest employer is literally Walmart. That's it. That's the claim to fame. The Walmart headquarters, congrats. Healthcare? Abysmal. Arkansas ranks near the bottom in healthcare access and outcomes. Hospitals are closing in rural areas. People can't afford treatment, and health metrics like obesity and diabetes are through the roof. Education? Also terrible. Schools are underfunded, teachers are underpaid, and student performance is consistently below average. If you care about your kids getting a solid education, Arkansas is not the move. Culturally, there's just not much happening. Unless you're really into nature and hiking, you're gonna be bored. Little Rock is the biggest city, and even that feels small compared to major metros in other states. The infrastructure is outdated. Roads are in rough shape, public transportation is basically non-existent, and it feels like the state hasn't been updated since the 90s. And let's be real, when you think of Arkansas, what even comes to mind? Nothing, right? Exactly. It's a flyover state in every sense. People don't vacation here. They don't move here for opportunities, they're usually just stuck here. The weather is also annoying. Hot, humid summers, unpredictable storms, tornadoes are a real threat. It's like all the bad parts of southern weather with none of the benefits. Number 4. West Virginia. Almost heaven? More like almost forgotten. West Virginia is economically depressed. The coal industry that built this state? It's gone, and nothing has replaced it. Towns that used to thrive are now abandoned. Main streets are boarded up. People are leaving in droves because there's just no opportunity. The opioid crisis destroyed West Virginia. This state has the highest overdose death rate in the entire country. Entire communities have been ravaged, families torn apart. It's genuinely heartbreaking, but it's also the reality of living here. Poverty is rampant. West Virginia has one of the highest poverty rates in America. Jobs are scarce, wages are low, and economic mobility is basically non-existent. If you're born into poverty here, good luck climbing out. Healthcare is a disaster. Rural hospitals are closing left and right. Access to doctors, specialists, and mental health services is extremely limited. People are literally dying because they can't get the care they need. Education? Bottom of the barrel. Schools are struggling, funding is low, and brain drain is real. Young people who get an education leave the state immediately because there's nothing to keep them there. Geographically, West Virginia is isolated. Mountains everywhere. It's beautiful, sure, but it also cuts off communities from each other and from the rest of the country. Infrastructure is rough. Internet access is spotty, and modernization feels decades behind. The population is aging. Young people are leaving, and the state is getting older and sicker. There's no population growth, no innovation, no excitement. West Virginia is a cautionary tale of what happens when an economy collapses and nothing is done to rebuild it. Number 3. Alabama. Sweet home Alabama? More like please help me leave Alabama? Alabama is hot, and I don't mean trendy. I mean the oppressive, suffocating, why did I leave my house kinda hot? Summers here are brutal. 95 with humidity so thick you can taste it. Air conditioning isn't optional, it's survival. But let's talk about the real issues. Education. Alabama ranks near the very bottom in education. Schools are underfunded, teachers are leaving the profession, and students are falling behind. Test scores are low, graduation rates are struggling, and the future doesn't look bright. Healthcare? Also terrible. Alabama has some of the worst healthcare outcomes in the country. High rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Access to quality care is limited, especially in rural areas. Several hospitals have closed in recent years, leaving entire counties without nearby medical facilities. The job market is weak. Unless you're in Huntsville, which has some tech and aerospace, Birmingham or Mobile, opportunities are limited. Wages are low, and economic growth is stagnant. The poverty rate is high, particularly in the Black Belt region. Infrastructure is crumbling. Roads are in bad shape, public transportation is basically non-existent, and investment in modernization is way behind other states. Culturally, Alabama is stuck. Progress feels slow. Social issues are contentious. If you're looking for diversity, progressive policies, or a thriving cultural scene, you're going to be disappointed. And let's not forget, Alabama gets hammered by severe weather. Tornadoes are a constant threat, especially in the spring. The state sits right in Dixie Alley, and every year communities get destroyed. Alabama is the kind of place that feels like it's been left behind by the rest of the country. Opportunities are limited. Quality of life is low, and unless you have deep roots here, there's not much reason to stay. Number 2. Louisiana. The Bayou State, the Please Stop Flooding State, the Is That Gunfire or Fireworks State. Louisiana is a disaster on multiple levels. Let's start with crime. New Orleans and Baton Rouge consistently rank as some of the most dangerous cities in America. Murder rates are sky high, violent crime is rampant. You can't even enjoy a night out without constantly looking over your shoulder. But crime isn't even the worst part. Hurricanes, Louisiana gets absolutely demolished by hurricanes on a regular basis. Katrina, Harvey, Ida, Laura, the list goes on. Entire communities get wiped out, and the recovery takes years. People lose everything, and then a few years later, another hurricane hits and they lose it all again. The infrastructure is crumbling. Roads are falling apart, the power grid is a joke, and flooding is a constant issue even without hurricanes. The state is literally sinking. Coastal erosion is eating away at Louisiana, and entire towns are disappearing into the Gulf of Mexico. The heat and humidity are oppressive. You step outside and instantly start sweating. Mosquitoes are everywhere. The air feels like you're breathing through a wet towel. It's miserable. Healthcare? Near the bottom. Louisiana has some of the worst health outcomes in the country. High rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Life expectancy is low. Access to quality care is limited, especially in rural areas. Education? Also near the bottom. Schools are underfunded, and students are not getting the resources they need. Louisiana consistently ranks in the bottom 5 for education. Poverty is a huge issue. Louisiana has one of the highest poverty rates in America. Jobs are limited, wages are low, and economic mobility is tough. And the corruption? Louisiana politics are notoriously corrupt. Scandals are a regular occurrence. Public trust is low, and it feels like the people in charge don't actually care about fixing the problems. Louisiana is beautiful in some ways. The culture, the food, the music, but the reality of living there is rough. It's a constant battle against nature, crime, and a system that feels broken. Number 1. Mississippi, the worst state in America, and it's not even close. Mississippi ranks last in almost every single metric that matters. Education, dead last. Healthcare, dead last. Poverty, highest in the nation. Median income, lowest in the nation. Child poverty, worst in the country. Let's break this down. Schools are severely underfunded. Teachers are the lowest paid in the entire country. Students are falling behind, and the future looks bleak. Literacy rates are low, graduation rates are low, and the cycle of poverty just continues. Healthcare is abysmal. Mississippi has the worst healthcare outcomes in America. Highest rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and infant mortality. People are literally dying from preventable conditions because they can't access quality care. Rural hospitals are closing, and entire counties are left without nearby medical facilities. The economy is in shambles. Mississippi is poor. The median household income is the lowest in the nation. Jobs are scarce, wages are low, and economic opportunities are virtually non-existent. The poverty rate is crushing, and it affects every aspect of life here. Infrastructure is outdated and crumbling. Roads are in terrible condition, internet access is limited in rural areas, and public services are stretched thin. The state just doesn't have the resources to keep up. Culturally and socially, Mississippi struggles. It's one of the most conservative states, and progress on social issues is slow. If you're looking for diversity, inclusion, or progressive policies, you won't find much of it here. And the brain drain is real. Anyone who can leave, does. Young people get educated and immediately move to other states because there's nothing keeping them in Mississippi. The state is stuck in a cycle of decline. Mississippi isn't just the worst state, it's a symbol of how bad things can get when education, healthcare, and economic opportunity are neglected for decades. Living in Mississippi is playing life on hard mode. Every system that's supposed to support you is failing. Every opportunity you'd have elsewhere is limited here. It's the bottom of the barrel, and the statistics prove it. Now look, I'm not saying everyone who lives in these states is miserable. People make it work. They build communities, they find happiness, they create lives. But statistically, objectively, these states are struggling hard. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. These problems, education, healthcare, poverty, infrastructure, they're all fixable. It takes investment, it takes leadership, and it takes people who actually care about making things better. If you made it this far, drop a comment and let me know if you agree or disagree with this list. And if you're from one of these states, let me hear your side. I want to know if I'm off base or if I'm speaking facts. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one.